Grand Rising. If you're interested in learning about getting whatever you want through manifestation, through the laws of your own mind, and this is the live for you. If it isn't, keep it moving. We're going to be reading from The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, which is my absolute #1 recommendation when you are starting the journey of rewiring the subconscious mind, or when you are practicing manifestation, which is one and the same. No matter what, no matter if you believe in manifestation or you don't, this is all energy. This is what you attract. What the energy you put out is the energy that comes back. Okay? You throw out a frisbee, a green frisbee is going to come back to you. In the same way that no matter what, Grand Rising, everyone. How we doing today? Happy Easter if you celebrated. And welcome back to life on a Monday. Benny in the house. So, manifestation story of the week. Now, these are minor things, but we can literally manifest anything. So, ordered a pair of sneakers, right? Said they were delivered to my place. They go into a mailroom in my building. Go down to the mailroom at like 9:30 at night. There's a picture of where they were placed. What's up, everybody? So I go in the mailroom. They're not there. So I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Where are these sneakers? Did somebody take them? What happened? Whatever. So I'm like, I went down a second time to look for them. I had the security person. I was like, can you come with me and see if these are here? Went down there. Couldn't find them. I was like, the picture is right here that these sneakers were dropped off in this room right here. Grand Rising from Oklahoma. I love it. So next morning, now I'm really pissed off, okay? But in my head, even though I was angry about it, in my mind, I was like, I know that these sneakers are going to turn up. No matter what, I'm going to get these sneakers. No matter what, they're going to turn up. Whether it was me ordering another pair of them and they get here just in time for me to go travel, or these sneakers are going to turn up. I was still pissed off, but I was like, it's going to be fine. Next day, well, that night I emailed my building, pair of missing sneakers, blah, blah, blah. Next morning they call me, hey, we can look at the security footage, da, 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 da. I call UPS, put in a request, that these things were not delivered, or they were, and whatever they say, call Nike. So I call Nike. They're like, oh, it says they weren't delivered yet. They were delivered because there was a picture of them being delivered. Fast forward. He's trying to help me in all kinds of ways. He actually gives me a refund. He's like, we're going to give you a refund. You can go, to a store locally and go buy a pair of sneakers or similar. So he says, is this your address? Reads me the address, but it's the wrong unit number. So I was like, that's not my unit number. He's like, okay, well, I'll just change it for you in the system. So I said, okay. So I'm on the phone with him for almost 45 minutes. He gives me a refund. So I'm like, let me just go down to the mailroom one more time. I was like, maybe they're on the floor where they thought they were supposed to deliver them, because it's by floors. And of course, I'm looking on my floor of where I live. So I looked at the floor where they were supposed to be delivered, and lo and behold, the sneakers were there. So I got a refund, which I was like, I need to call Nike and tell them that I found these sneakers. Got a refund, but I also found the shoes. What is the point of this story? The point of this story is that I revised in my head that these sneakers are going to be found. Like, I'm going to find them. That's how it's going to work. This is how it's going to work for me. This is how manifestation works. What I did was called revision. Like I said, you are literally turning the situation around in your head to the way that you want it to work out. Even though I was mad, even though I changed my energy about the situation, I was like, I know that this is going to work out perfectly. So this is what we do with our everyday scenario situations, unfavorable things in life. If there's things that are going on in your life that you don't like, you can revise them in your mind. We are using our conscious and subconscious mind to program what we want to happen in our life every day. When you start utilizing your own computer, your life will shift and change. Benny always talks about gratitude. Benny talks about how he wasn't walking, and he's now literally walking. Why? Because in his mind, the doctors might have said to him, you're never going to walk again. You're always going to have problems. You're always going to be in pain. This is always going to be an issue. If you allow someone the power over your reality, you will always be powerless, and you will never have the things that you want. Unless you're working with a person that's helping you to reprogram your life in the best way possible, don't allow anyone in your space that tells you you have 6 months to live. Oh, it's not a good time to buy on the market. You can literally formulate what your life looks like or turns into through the power of the subconscious mind. If you don't know what the subconscious mind is, it is our supercomputer. It is what holds on to all of our information in life. It is our consciousness. Once we die, this body doesn't own that anymore. It goes on to another realm. But our subconscious can have impressions from lifetimes ago. It is a computer. And unless you transmute the energy of that computer and you reset a program of your own computer, that programming will always be there, even if it comes from a past life. You could have traumas from a past life. So that's why it's our job in this life to learn to transmute that energy. Most people will go through their entire life and never even have any awareness of any of this head stuff. But it's really soul stuff or light stuff. It's light energy. It doesn't die. Just because you die, it doesn't mean your consciousness also dies. You take that package with you and you carry it to the next life until your soul gets to the point of completion. Like, for example, with Jesus Christ, it is said that he reached such a high level of enlightenment that his soul, his karma, was completely transmuted so that he only embodies this love energy, which is why he was so powerful, because he reached the highest level of a soul. And there's only several people recorded in history that had and reached this level of enlightenment, which is why Jesus could so easily touch a person and heal them, look at them and heal them. Water to wine, all the fish, the bread, all those stories. From what I've read, from what I've studied, from what I believe, that it was him that knew how to fully use the subconscious mind in his consciousness. What's up, fam? And if only we can get to a small fraction of what Jesus did, or what he became, what he is, this world will be a completely different place. Because when we talk about the map of consciousness here, when you reach the level of enlightenment, one person can transmute the energy of, is it 70 million or more than that? I don't know where the book is. So imagine one person being that powerful, which is why we are constantly taught to be afraid of everything, because our consciousness, our energy, is what literally molds this world. So if all of us were as powerful as Jesus Christ, this world would look nothing like it does. Nothing like it does. But the more that we're jealous, the more that we're angry, the more that we have no empathy, the more that we fear, the more that we have hopelessness and depression, shame. Those are all survival paradigm. So as long as the majority of people are living in a survival state, the world will continue to be a place that doesn't thrive. It's just surviving. Hopefully we understand that. So that's why it's so important for us to take responsibility of the energy that we give out. Because whatever energy that we give out is the energy that comes back to us in the form of friendships, relationships, jobs, homes, the places that we stay, we live. Everything that happens to us comes from us, not to us. You are not a victim of, oh, this person treated me this way. This happened to me today. I got into a car crash today. I tripped and fell today. It is a result of the energy that you're constantly putting out. And then it just comes back in the form of whether it's information or experiences to you. So if you don't like what your bank account looks like, there is a belief in you somewhere that money is the root of all evil, or I'm not worthy of having a lot of money. I'm not worthy of being happy. There is something within your own consciousness that is creating the results that you have. Your bank account has $10 in it. That is a reflection of what you believe about yourself that you should or can have. Money is hard to come by. I can't afford that. Oh my God, I'm so broke. So everything that happens to you is a result of those feelings that you have about yourself. Oh, it's so hard to meet a great guy right now. All girls are this or that. That is a belief. And the only result that you can have from that belief are people that show up that you describe exactly as that. There's no great guys out there. You'll attract a player. You'll attract somebody that's not worthy of you. You'll attract somebody that's not nice to you. You'll attract somebody that is just not for you at all. And you're just like, see, there's no great guys or there's no really good women out there. The energy you put out is what you get back in the form of experiences in this three-dimensional reality. I don't give a shit what it is. You have to take responsibility of the energy you project, of the belief systems that you project. I am. What's coming after your I am? I love to do this with you all, and I would appreciate your participation. What is your I amness? Every day in your life is that I am not chosen. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm so fat. What is your I am? I am so broke. I want you to write it down. Your honest I am. Benny, I believe that he actually believes that he's a great guy and knows that he's a great guy because Benny's been doing this work. But for those of us that haven't, I am powerful. I want your true I amness, because if we had the I ams that are so positive, our lives would look very different. If we lived and embodied all of those things, your life would be exactly what you want it to be. I'm abundant. I am powerful. Are these feelings or statements really how you feel? Because we're talking about what emanates from us. I thought there was a bug. I am one with the infinite power of creation. These are all beautiful. Love it. But do you really, 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 is that what comes from you? Thank you, Chris. I am unworthy. We all have these negative programmings. I am scared. I'm an amazing work in progress. Mary's been doing the work, so I know that she's on that path. I am a worrier. This is where I am not good enough. This is where everything is molded from. I am not good enough. So imagine that energy that we project out there, that's going to come back in experiences, whether it's with people or you're out by yourself and, you're just walking down the street and a person drives by in a puddle and you got soaked. Just any random thing is a result of the energy that we're constantly putting out. So if we understand our I amness, that everything comes from that. I think when I was a dancer and I was making no money, what was my I amness then? There was a lot of I am not good enough because I've been a perfectionist my whole life. And I manifested a career where everything was about being perfect. As a dancer, as an actress, as a model, every day it was rejection. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough, right? Because I went to well over 1,000 auditions in my lifetime. And I booked probably, maybe, I'm not going to say, maybe, I don't know, I did work a lot. But I'm saying for the amount of auditions that I went to, the amount of jobs that I booked, there was so much time that I wasted in my life going to auditions. But I'm just proving the point of, to me, I'm in Los Angeles. There's so much competition. So it's like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Right? So I can't manifest getting booked for jobs when I'm going into a place and I'm just like, there's so many girls that may be better than me or prettier than me or whatever. And living in a state like that is so gross. Now me looking back, because it's a low vibrational industry to begin with for a million reasons. But to constantly be in that state every day of feeling not good enough, but that was my decision, that I said to myself that there's people that are better than me or whatever the case was. But I'm just saying that I manifested from that space. until I was like, you know what? These jobs are not good enough for me. These jobs are not paying me enough money for these stupid little acting gigs or whatever it is. And so I started manifesting, making more money. I changed my mindset. I was listening to audios. Whenever I was in my car, I was constantly listening to affirmations. I was constantly saying my affirmations. I told you guys about this. An overabundance of money flows freely to me through my talents on a daily basis. An overabundance of money flows freely to me through my talents on a daily basis. That was my affirmation when I was in LA. After I got my mental shit together. And I was like, okay, I've had enough of making $100 for breaking my back. This is not happening anymore. So I started to do these affirmations. And literally jobs would fall out of the sky. Why? Because I was changing my energy. I changed the channel. When you change the channel of your consciousness, the world has to reflect that. I want everyone to understand that the world has to reflect your energy and your belief system. Because feeling is the secret to manifestation. If you guys don't understand some of the things that I'm saying, I really want you to ask questions. Because someone definitely has the same question as you. And I'm happy to answer questions. When you make the shift, your world has to shift too. If you go in your car and you're listening to a radio station and you press the button, is the radio station going to change? You're no longer going to be listening to the other radio station. Now you're listening to a different radio station. A different song is playing. When you change the radio station in your consciousness, the old radio station cannot play anymore. It still exists energetically. But it's not going to exist in your reality. Because if I'm listening to the music and then I press another button, something else comes on. Because I changed the tune, I changed the energy, I changed the vibration. Oh, question bubble, thank you. I love this question. How do you do that if you feel depressed? That is an excellent question. Depression comes from mineral deficiencies. Once we start to give our mind the minerals that it needs, that's when the whole body starts to break down, is through mineral deficiencies. We're made of 102 minerals. Our diet, food is not even real food. Air, soil, water, everything is depleting us of minerals on purpose so that people can't possibly be balanced humans, because then we would really understand how to gain our power back. So, step one is the depression state. How do we get rid of the depression state? I always talked about sea moss earlier on. Sea moss has 92 out of 102 minerals. Shilajit has 87, I think, minerals out of 102 minerals, depending if you get whatever kind you get that you source. When you start with these type of things, this is what I did. My depression didn't exist anymore because it couldn't. My mind was functioning in a balanced state. So, okay, get that out of the way. Also, lithium orotate, game changer. It is a trace mineral. Lithium orotate changed my life. 5 milligrams. Not a recommendation, just what I did. So we get the depression situation out of the way. Once we alleviate that, once we feel elevated, it is much easier for us to change our mindset when you aren't depressed. Because when you're depressed, like, there's almost nothing that can change you. There are some people that are so strong-minded that they can somehow override it. But if you have a mineral deficiency, and we're not talking about, like, if there's grief or something like that, like, then there's a real reason for the depression. Many people don't have actual real reasons for depression. They're just so minerally depleted that their brain doesn't function properly, and then there's depression. So once you alleviate that, then you can start to reprogram. Are there people that are in situations, maybe at a breakup, you're depressed because of the breakup? You can reprogram the subconscious mind because of that or from that, to where you literally have to shift the energy every day. You say, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm in a beautiful relationship. Even if you're so depressed that maybe your heart is broken, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm in a beautiful relationship. Fill in the blanks of all the characteristics that you want in a person. So if it's situational depression, where maybe you just lost your job, yes, it's extremely difficult to reprogram your mind when you just had something really bad happen, because you're like, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay my bills? You have to remember, you caused that to happen energetically. You lost your job, you lost your house, you got in a car crash, now you have to pay to fix your car. We attract these things to us through our energy. So situational depression is different from being actually depressed from a mineral deficiency. Okay? So I hope that that answered your question. If anybody else has questions, feel free to ask them. I'm going to read a little bit from The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. If anyone is looking into where to start with manifesting, it is understanding your subconscious mind, in my opinion. So The Power of the Subconscious Mind is going to be one of those books that is monumental in changing how the mind works so that you can actually change your life and your reality. Lithium orotate works wonders. I started taking them recently. Thank you for the recommendation. Lithium orotate is a game changer. It will help you focus tremendously. It's going to elevate your mood. It's going to help to slow down your thoughts if you have obsessive compulsive disorder, things like that. All of these things are imbalances in the mind caused by mineral deficiencies. Point blank, period. We're not depressed because we have a deficiency in taking Zoloft. Let me not start with pharmaceuticals today. I'm trying to get out of a shadow ban. Okay, no, let's see. I think I'm going to have to close my windows. That's a side note. If you have questions, please ask. I'm happy to answer them. Your future is in your subconscious mind. Remember that the result of your habitual thinking is already in your mind, except when you change it through prayer. This is why I wanted to read this. Wayland, Weyland. I want you to read the reviews on that on Amazon. They're insane. People with bipolar, even people I think they're schizophrenia on there, that all these reviews. But go read them and you're going to be like, holy shit, this is crazy. That's $13 for a bottle. Lithium orotate has nothing to do with lithium. What the hell is it called? It just left my head. This is not the lithium that is prescribed by a psychiatrist. That is the chemical compound that they formulated because of lithium orotate. Lithium orotate, or lithium, is a trace mineral found on Earth that is natural. Is it lithium citrate? Why can't I think of what the hell it is? The other form of lithium, why can't I think of the name, is what they created in a lab somewhere, which is not what we want. Let me write this shit down for you guys. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the brand. I always go to order it on Amazon. It says, you have ordered this 26 times. And I'm not kidding, literally. Like, oh, do you think that you use that often? Do you guys see the brand there? Wayland's? I spelled it for you. Listen, anybody that's getting this and you start taking it, I want you to send me a DM and tell me how it has changed your life. Because I'm not kidding. The very first day that I took it, I was just like, oh, hi everyone. Hello, life. Because I've had mineral deficiencies my whole life because I starved myself the majority of my life. You can't be healthy and starve yourself. It's not going to happen. Or you can't at least be balanced. And that's a whole other story for a different day. So getting back to your future is in your subconscious mind. This is why I wanted to read this. The future, listen to this. The future of a country is in the collective subconscious of the people of that nation. Sorry, I'm trying to read the comment section and do this at the same time. 1 second. The future of a country is in the collective subconscious of the people of that nation. Side note, there's also, I've been using Wayland's forever, but what's his name? Dr. Group's line. Global Healing. He also makes it, but he only makes it in 10 milligrams. 10 milligrams, way too much for me. Way overstimulated. So Wayland's does come in the 5 milligram, but Global Healing, if you like his brand, comes in 10. 10 is way too much for me. I can't tell you what it would be for you, but for me, it was definitely like it was way too much. Hold on. Somebody asked me something else. Can a 13-year-old take it? I can't make that recommendation. I would just research that. It is a trace mineral, right? We all need minerals in our body. We're made up of 102 of them. So it's the same thing if you're asking, can a 13-year-old take an antidepressant? I would say hell no to that. But that's artificial, right? That's chemistry. That's make pretend. That's poison. When you're talking about minerals, we need minerals in order to survive. So take that and do what you like with it. Actually, someone that I know, she's 11. She's taken it. She started taking it like 2 weeks ago. And she said her mood has totally changed because she's going through a whole lot of stuff. And they're very, very tiny. These little pills are like the size of a Tic Tac. If anybody knows what a Tic Tac is. Okay. The future of a country is in the collective subconscious of the people. All of our subconscious, let's give an example here. The pandemic. What did they have to do in order to get people to go along with this? They created something essentially out of thin air, and then they blasted it on every TV 24/7. So they never proved that the whole thing even existed. But it existed in the mind of the majority of the world. So they can literally, it's the boogeyman. No one's ever seen it. No one's ever isolated it, but it exists, and it's going to kill you, and it's going to kill your family. It's going to kill your grandparents. You're not allowed to see them in the hospital. They have to die alone. They programmed the minds of the majority of the collective consciousness. They don't have to even make an illness. They just make it in your mind, and people physically become ill because in their mind, oh my God, I'm going to get sick from this boogeyman. I have to clean my doors with Clorox. I have to bleach my fruit. I have to do all this stuff. It is psychological warfare. So again, let's go back to this because it's there is nothing strange in the dream I had wherein I saw the headlines of the New York newspapers long before the war began. The war had already taken place in my mind. And all the plans of attack were already engraved on that great recording instrument, the subconscious mind or collective unconscious of the universal mind. Tomorrow's events are in your subconscious mind. So are next week's and next month's, and they may even be by a highly psychic or clairvoyant person. No disaster or tragedy can happen to you if you decide to pray. Nothing is predetermined. Your mental attitude, the way you think, feel, and believe determines your destiny. So you understand. Exactly. Kayla, what about the Snapchat mask filter the year prior? It is all predictive programming. It's getting people used to the ideas of these things, and it's just a subconscious thing. Your subconscious records everything. If you see something enough times, it imprints into your subconscious mind, which then becomes your energy pattern, and your energy pattern is what you collect from the literal 3D world. All day long was how many people are dying from COVID, how many people, or coronavirus when it was called that. All these states are infected. Everything has to close down. They used fear to get people to believe something that never existed. Globally. Think about how insane that is. Think about how powerful the mind is, which is why they don't need for bullets to fly, for a war to start. They start the war in the mind of the people first. And then people already believe that it's happening. When you talk about all these countries where there's war and all this other stuff, is it really happening there? We don't know. But everything happens in the mind first. So that's on a large scale that they got an entire globe to close their doors and not go to work, not see their dying family members, not fighting back because they were so fearful. Because they subconsciously programmed an entire globe of people. This is why I have the platform I have today, because I was like, this is absolute bullshit. I don't believe one word of any part of this from day one. So it was helping to get people and their subconscious minds to believe this is not what's really going on. I know your television is telling you that. I know that your doctors are pushing you to get injected with some concoction that nobody knows what it is. We know that the newspapers are saying this. We know on social media they're saying that. But what's really going on was psychological warfare. They can create something out of nothing. Through what? Survival paradigm. Through fear, through anger, through rage, division, jealousy, apathy, shame. The whole pandemic was built around shame, and shame happens to be the absolute lowest on the vibrational scale of the map of consciousness. Shame is the lowest. You don't care about other people. How dare you not wear a mask? You know how many people told me that when I would walk around without a mask anywhere that I went? People are going to die because of you. I was willing to go to jail over all of that. I would go in stores on purpose without a mask because I wanted people to know that there is nothing to be afraid of. Where your attention goes, energy flows. This is the same thing. If you want to get what you want out of your life, it is reprogramming those I ams. I am afraid. I am full of anxiety. I am so depressed. I am in so much pain. Whatever your I amness is what your world becomes. It's that simple. So if you want a different world to live in, if you want more money, if you want more love, if you want more happiness, more joy, you have to change that programming that tells you that you're not good enough. People call me a murderer, literally. Same here. I had a store. I went into a vintage store in the city, in Philly. I had the people that owned the store call the police on me 3 times. I would not leave the store. I refused. I was in there for over an hour. My sister's like, I'm leaving you here. I'm not doing this with you today. I was like, I'm not leaving. I was standing up for my rights and the rights of millions and billions of people around the world. I said, call the cops. Arrest me, please. That was fun, actually. But this is what I'm just saying about the mind, how powerful it is. When you have a belief system that is unshakable, which we do for the good and the bad. Some people have a belief system. Who's calling me when I'm live? When we have a belief system that is unshakable, that's how we manifest. And it's also for the bad. If we have a belief system that believes I'm sick all the time, I'm always in so much pain, like, what am I going to do? And you're always in this victim mentality. You have a belief system that is unshakable. So therefore, you're attracting more illness, more pain, more fear that other things are going to happen that are bad. But if you have an unshakable belief that I'm going to be the most successful motherfucker on this planet, if I have a belief system that I get everything that I want easily and effortlessly, guess what? Things in my life are going to happen to me easily and effortlessly. That is how it works. You want to change your life, start reading things like this, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, Joseph Murphy. Start there because it's going to teach you. It's a blueprint of how your mind works. If you want to change your life, you have to know how your mind works. Unless you just change your belief system. People know that I'm live and they call me. That really bothers me. I hope that was a nice kick in the ass this morning for everybody. Because enough is enough with this world. If you don't like the way the world looks, you have to start with your own world first, changing it. Imagine if every person changed their own universe. They became a person that knew so incredibly of their power that they were able to just do anything. They could think of something 1 second, the next second they have it. We do have that ability. I manifested those sneakers coming back in 12 hours. I was like, oh my God, blah, blah. With my car, manifested a car. Color combination that doesn't happen. I manifested that in less than 24 hours. I manifest things every single day. We all do. For the good, for the bad, whether you know it, whether you don't. We're always manifesting because it's just energy. It's just matching energy. That's what manifestation is. Together we will change this. Others will follow. You helped me have so much courage during the Rona days. God. What a friggin' disaster, man, that we actually lived through that. What a nightmare. Um, so again, if you want to change your life, it all starts with subconscious programming. Mare, I would love to kick you in the ass any day, but in person so I can be with you and the horses. And we'll see each other soon and do healing. So I hope everybody has a really great Monday. And we go out into life today and understand that we can change it all through our thoughts and thinking. That's it. Yes, I will repost this. I hope that you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll see you this week. And I will see you soon.